All right, in this lesson, we're going to be talking about marketing and top 15 free social media monitoring tools. Once you get your website up and running, you're going to need to have some sort of way to monitor it. I mean, it's just the way of life, the fact of life. So we're going to look at this article by Brandwatch. And they talk about some really interesting things that I think will really help you out to understand what you need. One of my favorites is HootSuite. For those of you that have never heard of HootSuite, HootSuite is one of the best free social media listening tools available and covers multiple social networks, including Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, WordPress, Foursquare, and Google+. It is well known for its social media management functions. And I've actually used this before where you can actually go in and pick something that you really like, something that actually represents your brand, like a certain brand. Like one time I used Martha Stewart on one of my pages. And I was able to post Martha Stewart articles and recipes, and it was really cool. So if you haven't checked out HootSuite, HootSuite is a great place for you to go. It's good for delegating tasks and sending private messages, and really it's a great way to schedule content. Then we have TweetReach. TweetReach is a great monitoring tool for your business if you're interested in checking how far your tweets travel. TweetReach measures the actual impact and implications of social media discussions. So this is great for if you have Twitter as one of your main platforms that you're using for social media management and for social media presence, online presence. So with that being said, if you're using Twitter as one of your main things, I would suggest using this or looking into this because it'll give you some analytics. I don't think Twitter has anything that's comparable to this on the actual platform, so this works great. And it gives you some in-depth. You can see here that it gives you the numbers, how many number of tweets, contributors, hours. This is really good if you're using it for that. Then we have Klout. Klout is probably one of the most controversial social media monitoring tools. There are those who hate it and claim that its scoring system is completely inaccurate and that trying to interact with them is an impossible mission. A curious thing as they provide interaction measurement services. You either hate it or you love it, okay? But it works great. It is good for measuring influence through engagement on Twitter. So just look into that if that's something that you want to use. Using the Klout score, you can adjust your post according to your target audience's interests and increase your engagement rate. Okay, so Klout helps you increase your engagement rate. So if you want to work on your engagement, this is a great tool to use. Okay. Social Mention. Social Mention is quite popular among social media enthusiasts. Social Mention monitors over 100 social media sites. It is probably one of the best free listening tools on the market, and it analyzes data in more depth and measures influence with 4 categories: strength, sentiment, passion, and reach. It also displays top keywords, hashtags, and sites. So honestly, you guys, this is something that I use to find out more information. So this is look at all that data. Isn't that juicy? Ooh, that's a lot of data that you can actually use to find out, how people feel about things, right? So the next one is TweetDeck. I don't even know if I said that right, but it's brand spanking new to me. TweetDeck is a great tool for social media beginners looking for a Twitter monitoring tool. You just enter the name you want to track and you instantly get real-time updates, meaning the most active top influencers, most retweeted photos and links, and most importantly, the top 10 keywords related to your search. You guys, this is really important. To have your keywords is so important. And I want you to think about that. When you're looking for ways to reach your audience, your keywords are going to be like one of the most stealth ways to do it because your audience can't see that and they can only find you by that. So check into that. Then we have a Dictum Attic. Okay. if you're aiming to get an overall view of a brand, a Dictum Attic can be very useful and as straightforward as Twaza. Okay? The only difference is that a Dictum Attic focuses on a variety of platforms, including Flickr, YouTube, Twitter, WordPress, Bing News, Delicious, Google, Ask.com, and more. It's really useful for keeping an eye on recent industry development and brand reputation. So you might want to check that out. Looks like a good one. The next one is HowSociable. HowSociable is a handy tool for measuring your and your competitors' social media presence. To track 12 social sites, including Tumblr and WordPress. However, if you're interested in 24 more, such as Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter, etc., a pro account is required. HowSociable approach to social monitoring is a bit different as it breaks down scores for different social platforms, allowing you to see which social media platform work best for you and which ones need further development. So if you're developing your social media platforms, maybe this is a good way to go. Then we have IceRocket. Aren't these names awesome, you guys? IceRocket. This tool refers to blogs, okay? So Twitter and Facebook monitoring in 20 languages, holy moly, as well as results graphs that you can play with. It allows you to choose the period of time you are interested in monitoring, okay? So this looks really awesome. So check that out if you're wanting to do a little bit of monitoring on your blog. I think that some of you are going to go do blogs. Some of you have vlogs. Some of you have YouTube channels. I don't necessarily know if this is compatible with a YouTube channel, but you can test it out. I think that why not? Why wouldn't it be, right? Okay, so check that out. Then we have TweetDeck. Where do they get these names from? TweetDeck covers the basic needs of any Twitter user, so it's a good option for beginners. It's a great tool for scheduling tweets and monitoring your interactions and messages, as well as tracking hashtags and managing multiple accounts. There is a web app, Chrome app, or Mac app. The Windows app ceased functioning in April 2016, you guys, so you can't use this for Windows. But you can if you have a Mac, or if you're using Chrome, or if you're using a web app, okay? So check that out. You can see some pictures of how that works. Now, mention, I don't understand. There's social mention, there's mention. Some of these names are like really similar, okay? Mention monitors millions of sources in 42 languages, helping you stay on top of your brand mentions on social networks, news sites, forums, blogs, or any web page. The app lets you keep track of your team's actions, share alerts, and assign tasks. Generating reports and exporting mentions can help you get a snapshot of your mentions by source or language over a selected period of time. They offer a 14-day trial, but they do cost moolah, okay? But it is definitely a good tool to look into. When you are actually generating cash flow, I would suggest that you not get any of these unless you have cash flow or unless they're free. Because remember, I told you the main thing that startups and entrepreneurs and small businesses have the most trouble with is having enough money and having enough manpower. So don't be spending money on stuff you don't need. Okay. Oh my gosh. I think this is called Autonomy, but I'm not really sure. Okay, so that's how I'm pronouncing it. Autonomy offers a range of metrics for free, with premium features enabled for $19 a month. Simply sign in with your Twitter account for robust monitoring and metrics about your account. You can add your competitors' Twitter handles to gain insight about their activity too. Wow, that's awesome. Autonomy shows you details of your Twitter list, followers, and followings, your most popular tweets, engagement statistics, and more. You can track conversions on Twitter based on hashtags, users, or lists. The details are displayed in graphs and easily digestible stats. You guys, that is so key because some of this stuff is completely foreign to you and you don't want to get yourself into a situation where you have to read these really complicated stats because let me just tell you, that can stress you out and cause a lot more headache than needed, okay? So, Followerwonk. I have to take a moment to laugh about that. Followerwonk? Really? Focusing specifically on Twitter, Followerwonk is the right tool to find, analyze, and optimize your online presence for social growth. The tool is perfect for planning outreach campaigns by allowing you to search Twitter bios, connect with influencers or fans, and break them out by location, authority, number of followers, and more. Interestingly, with Followerwonk, compare your social graph to competitors, friends, or industry leaders and measure how well you're doing. And that's interesting. Never mind if this is not a popularity contest, right? But, if you're trying to compare yourself to, a business that you want to be like, this is a great tool to use. So, for instance, if I want to be like Tony Robbins, I want to be a motivational speaker, a business strategist, an expert, then I could actually get some of his Twitter handles and I could compare how I'm doing, which is actually very terrifying for me, a terrifying prospect, because he's 20 plus years in the making. Let me just tell you this. No matter which of these you actually use, you want to make sure that you're not comparing your beginning to someone's middle or end, okay? Number 13 is SomeAll. Okay, targeted at small, medium businesses, SomeAll is a cross-platform social media monitoring tool that will help you understand the correlation between your social channels. The user interface does take a bit of time to get familiar with, but there are an extensive amount of metrics you can analyze. The daily email updates give you quick overview of top-level stats of your account compared to previous week, allowing you to quickly react and respond to urgent issues. Okay, you guys, if you are not really measuring your numbers, this is actually a really good tool to use, okay? And I noticed a lot of these are for Twitter, but Twitter is popular, but there are other platforms that are more popular, so I'm really surprised that this doesn't really talk more about Facebook. All right, we're going to go to the next one, which is SimplyMeasure. Okay, SimplyMeasure makes it easy to analyze your paid, owned, and earned activity. The main suite is a paid tool, but it can still be used to create free individual reports for Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Vine, and Google+. They provide insights such as Facebook content, competitor and fan page analysis, key customer service metrics, measurement on Twitter, Instagram engagement, content and trends analysis, and many others. So this looks kind of cool. Yeah, I like the graphs there. All right, Google Alerts. Okay, you guys, Google Alerts is a great one. Google has a lot of tools that you can actually use to do monitoring. So if I were you, I would Google monitoring tools and it'll come up. I know that seems like a conundrum, right? Okay. With Google Alerts, you can monitor the web for interesting new content, mentions of your brand, or even yourself, your competitors, industry leaders, and so on. As they're extremely easy to set up, this is a social monitoring tool for beginners, okay? If you are a beginner, this is great for you. By creating a Google Alert, you will receive email notifications every time Google finds new results on a topic that you are interested in across blogs, forums, and news sites, okay? So if I were you, I would sign up for that because it's just great. You can actually book a demo, which is pretty cool. But main thing is start listening to what your competitors doing, start measuring what you are doing so that you can beat your numbers, so that you know your numbers. If you don't know your numbers, you're in some deep waters, okay? You have to know your numbers. You have to know what you're doing, how you can improve, what people are responding to, what people are not responding to, because if you don't make the right adjustments, you're going to lose your audience. So you can get the audience, that's great, but you have to keep the audience, all right? That is it for this lesson. Thank you so much. And you know what? If you want to read this again, I'm going to put the link in the description for you, and I will see you in the next video.